Let me see you all bend forward and touch the ground. Can you all bend down like this? What's going on with you? Did your lumbar spine collapse like a bamboo tube? When you bend forward, you can't go down, and your shoulder also feels an impact. Try a shoulder movement for me. Can you raise your hand? Your shoulder movement is also restricted. Try bending at the waist again. Let me see. Is it that you're afraid to go down because of the pain, or is something really pulling on you? It's the right side that's tight. Now tilt your head back for me. Your neck extension is also insufficient. Even when you lower your head, it's still not enough. Try making a beckoning cat gesture for me. Let me see. Which movement causes the impact for you? Is it lateral raises or overhead presses? Lateral raises cause an impact on the right side, but not on the left. When you do a press on the left, your elbow joint hurts, and when you do a lateral raise, the right side gets impacted. When bending forward, the right side of your lower back feels tight. He says the right side of his lumbar vertebra has collapsed. His shoulder area is also restricted, and he has limited range when tilting his head back. Try rotating your head and neck for me. Turn your head to the right. Now turn to the left. You all can see more clearly. Does he have any restriction in head and neck rotation? Turn a bit more to the right and try rotating your body to the right as well. Now rotate to the left again. Right side's worse. Checking your pelvis. Any leg length issues? No structural difference, so why the inserts? I was told I have flat feet. See his lumbar dimples? This side's higher, this one's lower. This is his right posterior superior iliac spine, and this is his left posterior superior iliac spine. His right side is rotated forward and his left side is rotated backward. Normally, most people have the right side lower and the left side higher, but for him, the right side is higher and the left side is lower. So, has the right accessory bone dropped down? The right accessory bone has dropped down, and you want to make the right side lower, so you are compensating in the opposite direction. Let me check your shoulders. March in place, let me see. It's descending in summer and ascending in spring. Next, I'll teach you how to train with your left leg in front. Keep your right leg extended behind you, while your left knee is placed in front, and your right knee remains behind. Your left knee should naturally tend to push upward, while your right knee pulls backward up, creating a sense of opposing force throughout the movement. Do you understand? The left side exerts force upward, the right side exerts force backward. Your upper hand grips like this on the right side and here on the left. After exhaling, just do 8 to 10 reps in one go. What I do is a bit different from others. In this movement, I adjust all of his body issues together. The 4 fingers on the outside, or at least the outer 3 fingers, must grip tightly. The left side pushes upward, the right side pulls backward. On the right, you first hold it in place, then pull back. This can be used to adjust the height. The left side simply pushes upward, while on the right, after pushing up, you then pull back. This hand grips here, and the other hand grips at the back. Pull the paper down. When you pull down, don't do it behind the neck. Who told you to do it behind the neck? Keep your head up and pull in opposite directions. If you're out of breath, start over. Don't lean forward like that. Just pull straight down. Keep your head up. Don't tuck your chin down. Don't tuck it down. Pull all the way. Let your leg on the right side brace and pull back while the left side pushes upward. That's right. Okay, take a breath. All right, for the second set, I'll teach you how to do it. You keep wanting to lean forward, but when I show you, you should hold here. See, isn't it braced? When you really want to do it, it should be like this. Keep your spine deep, deep, and hold your breath while doing it. Spinal flexion, spinal extension, flexion and extension. Just do it like this. After bracing on the right side, pull back. On the left side, just go upward. Once it's braced, that's enough. It's not about lowering your head. If you only move your thoracic spine, you'll run out of breath. When you do it like this, but your thoracic spine doesn't move. No, it's this part here that should be moving like this. Right, it's supposed to move like this, but you can't even do one because your thoracic spine is completely stuck. Pull your right leg back, push upward while pulling back. When extending the thoracic spine, don't tuck your chin. Bring your head back. That's right, keep going. 5. Out of breath, that's enough. You can't do many, maybe only 3 or 4, but as long as you get moving, that's good. Once you start moving, this area will loosen up, chest up, abs in. It feels a bit like that, but you are holding your breath while doing it. If you keep practicing like this, you'll become more and more flexible, and your thoracic spine's mobility will improve a lot, especially since we have many Pilates instructors in our class. If you're teaching a client who can't do the sequential roll down properly, you can have them do a set of these pulls. After just one set, they might immediately gain control. Plus, this method works very quickly. It's a weighted set. Just do 8 reps in one go. Come on, open up your thoracic spine. 7, pull your right leg back. 6, 5, 4, move your thoracic spine. 3, very good. 2, last one. Okay, that's enough. The last set was a bit better. Come on, how many was that? If you keep practicing, you'll really push your limits. Because your thoracic spine is locked up, you can't inhale. After you exhale, you haven't even started exercising and you're already out of breath. Try bending over and touching the ground again. Can you do it? Try it now. Your lower back is gone. It really doesn't hurt anymore, right? Now do another movement where you raise your arms overhead, shoulder flexion. Good, then lower your arms and do a head tilting movement. Tilt your head back. Now do a rotation of your thorax to the right. Now turn to the left. Now do the beckoning cat gesture. All right, I said, after you finish weightlifting properly, all the functions above your pelvis will improve. I also corrected his pelvis. What movement did I have him do? I had his right ilium rotate backward and his left ilium rotate forward. So the thoracolumbar fascia and the multifidus muscles in the lower back all return to their original positions, which is why he can now bend over and touch the ground. So by using back stretching movements, I can not only improve his lower back pain, but also his knee pain, hip pain, plantar pain, neck pain, shoulder pain, back pain, basically all the pain throughout his body. I can work on all of these areas using just one piece of equipment. And during the training process, not only do I help everything return to its proper place, but I also activate the muscles, strengthen them, and stabilize them in this position. That's why I say that the lasting effect of my method is much greater than any single treatment. Normally, when you provide treatment, how do you do it? Let me tell you. First, you relax the soft tissue, then you realign the joints, then you activate the muscles, and finally, you strengthen them. Going through this whole process takes a long time, and you also have to train their breathing and have them pay attention to their lifestyle habits. For example, when sitting, don't lean back or cross your legs. When standing, stand properly, and when sitting, sit properly. But no one can do all of this perfectly. That's why it tends to recur. That's why it easily relapses. Because everything you do in the hospital, after you finish relaxing the soft tissue and realigning the bones, once the patient leaves, drives to the gym, and meets with the trainer, the bones you just adjusted may have already shifted back. The trainer doesn't know what to do next to specifically help stabilize the adjustments you made. So there's no overlap between the doctor and the trainer. They're like two parallel lines. The doctor does the doctor's job and the trainer does the trainer's job. But with the shift in time and space, the treatment was done an hour ago, and after driving from the hospital to the gym, the position of the joint is no longer the same as it was in the hospital. So at this point, even if you manage to coordinate, your efficiency will still be low. That's why I address all the issues within the same time frame. As I mentioned to everyone this morning, the way I grip is to improve both the coronal and horizontal planes at the same time. Why? Because my left hand is in front and my right hand is behind. With my left hand in front and right hand behind, what I'm correcting is the rotation. This is on the horizontal plane. When you see this person standing still, they look like this, so their entire spine is twisted. Their pelvis is like this, so your rib cage turns to the left while your pelvis turns to the right. Where these two forces intersect, your lower back will feel uncomfortable. It's like you're twisting a rope. You'll always feel discomfort there. Even if your mom fixes that area, it's still useless because the upper part hasn't returned and the lower part hasn't returned either. So when I do this movement, I correct both the upper and lower parts together. That's why when I grip like this, I correct her rotation from front to back. I also have an up and down adjustment. My right hand is higher and my left hand is lower. I grip it like this, and at this point, it's equivalent to correcting the lateral area of my spine. Originally, my right shoulder was low and my left shoulder was high, but now with my right hand gripping higher and my left hand gripping lower, I immediately straighten it out. So this is the lateral area of the coronal plane, which corrects the rotation on the horizontal plane. When I have him do it again, his thoracic spine is curved and his thoracic spine is stuck in extension below the diaphragm. So when I have him exhale, after he finishes exhaling and does it again, his thoracic spine comes back a bit. When I have him pull again, his thoracic spine moves forward. At this point, the sagittal plane has also improved. So with one movement, I am correcting all the issues in the sagittal, coronal, and horizontal planes. Because his spine is twisted and his pelvis is rotated in the opposite direction, the heavier the weight I use, the more force he needs to stabilize his lower body. So when the left leg pushes upward, it pulls the left side of the pelvis to rotate forward. When the right leg pulls back, it causes the right ilium to rotate backward, so I am simultaneously correcting both sides of the sacroiliac joints. Originally, the left ilium was lower and the right was higher, but after this adjustment, both sides are improved. Additionally, my foot below provides support, and the strength from the ball of your foot can be utilized. As long as your pelvis is no longer twisted and your thorax is aligned, the force distribution on your feet will be correct. That's why I say this. Even if you have plantar fasciitis, I can help you improve, because the force distribution on both sides has improved. Did you see it when you were facing away from everyone? I didn't even touch his sacroiliac joints. Look again at the dimples on both sides of his lower back. So who says I have to move the sacroiliac joint or correct his pelvis? I must do bone adjustment. As a coach, I'm not qualified to perform bone adjustments, but I've basically studied all the well-known bone adjustment courses. What I do is incorporate the theory of bone adjustment, biomechanics, and breathing into my training. With a single movement, I combine everything, including fascial release techniques. I incorporate muscle stretching, breathing, bone adjustment, muscle activation, and muscle strengthening, all of it. I also train your heart rate to reach the fat burning zone so you can build muscle, lose fat, shape your body, and rehabilitate all at once. Whatever your goal is, I can help you achieve it with a single movement. After training, not only will your lung capacity improve, but your muscles will grow, your body fat will decrease, and your cardiopulmonary function will also get better. I also help your joints align better and improve your posture. Tell me, what other exercise can achieve all of this? If you practice yoga or Pilates, yes, you can do it, but those mainly activate the smaller muscles and focus on muscle control without bearing weight. That's why Pilates is called contrology. It's about improving your control over these movements. But you're not continuously breaking down muscle fibers, and it's also very difficult to achieve all the functions in a single movement. That's because there's a pulling force involved, as well as resistance. So the more force you use above, the more strength your pelvis needs below to maintain stability. In this way, I am realigning all the joints in your body. That's why I say once you've trained properly, your joint alignment improves, your flexibility improves, your function improves, your breathing improves, and your posture improves. All of this with just a 20-kilogram weight. If I gradually increase the weight to 40 kilograms, I can place your joints in the correct position and then strengthen your muscles. This way, your joints are less likely to shift out of place, and after correcting the subjoint misalignments, they're less likely to become dislocated again. That's the effect it has. You can try it yourself. Add another 20-kilogram plate and see how much weight you can pull. Increase from 75 kilograms to 80 for you. After he finished, his feeling was that as soon as he got off, he could plant his heel on the ground. Before, even with arch support insoles, his heel couldn't touch the ground, but now he can. That's because his pelvis used to be twisted. His right side rotated forward, his left side rotated backward, so the right side of his pelvis rotated forward, and the left side rotated backward, which is the opposite of what's normal for most people. Now try 40 kilograms and see if you can hold it. This will challenge your grip strength. Don't think this is just for rehabilitation. It's not. While I'm doing rehab, I'm also training my muscles and causing the same kind of muscle breakdown. Why can't I build bigger muscles? This is exactly how I usually train my muscle fibers. He can't pull it down any further. His hips are being lifted up, and with his current ability, he still can't keep his back down. He can't control the eccentric movement of his back yet. Let me show you how I use this to train my muscles. I only use 3 fingers to pull it. And what I'm pulling is 80 kilograms, which is the same as my body weight. It's not that these things are only for rehabilitation. You can still build bigger muscles with them, and at the same time, your functionality will keep improving. And when you do it, you have to press your pelvis down on it. That way, you don't even need to warm up. You can directly pull the same weight as your body. Your leg has to brace your pelvis, keep your head steady, and pull down. Don't let your butt get lifted up. If you shout while pulling, you're not doing it right. If you pull with your hands like this, it won't work either. This machine actually has many uses. The advantage is that it has different grip positions, and it also has this kind of handle. That means for people with scoliosis, I can also train one side at a time. For example, if the right shoulder is lower and the left shoulder is higher, then I can do it like this. Do you understand? I can also do it this way. There are many other ways to use it, so for each person, depending on their specific situation, I just choose the equipment and let them use it directly. Right now, I just use whatever equipment is available on the stage. Normally in our gym, I can choose equipment that suits them better and train them from head to toe. This is much better than the treatment you get in a hospital or in a yoga studio. Relaxing his fascia and activating him with Pilates lasts much longer than just holding a stretch. How long he can hold depends on how much weight he is hanging. The heavier the weight, the longer he can hold, unless the destructive forces in his daily life or work exceed this weight. That's why I say the rehabilitation treatments done in hospitals around the world are only suitable for this type of patient. Those who sit in offices or lie at home, whose daily life and work do not involve intense physical activity, only then can they maintain the results. If a dog suddenly comes running after you and you start running, you'll fall apart because you can't withstand that kind of destructive force. What about us? We usually put our bodies through tougher challenges. So if we suddenly misstep, I can control myself. No matter the angle, I can brake suddenly and not get injured. Even if I fall, my muscles protect me so I don't break a bone. But for you, your body is empty. You barely have any muscle, no cushioning at all. There's no shock absorption. If you fall and your bones are already osteoporotic, it's very easy to break a bone. That's the appeal of weightlifting. So yesterday I was saying a lot of people claim that weightlifting wears you out, but for me, weightlifting has aligned all my joints, improved my breathing, lowered my resting heart rate, relieved nerve compression, and improved my blood circulation. How is that wearing me out? In fact, it allows my body to get better and better. So I rely on two things. One is breathing and the other is weightlifting. That's why I can eat 2 meals a day or even just 1 meal and it's fine. I can sleep just 2 or 3 hours and still be okay. I can keep going, working continuously for long periods without any problem at all. When can you switch to a symmetrical mode? The diaphragm can sink down or rise up. When you're standing, your right leg can bear weight and so can your left leg and they can alternate. Then you can switch freely. You need to check after you finish the asymmetrical work. Look at your sacroiliac joint. For example, if tomorrow you find that your right side is high and your left side is low again, that means you're still unstable. When you usually support yourself, if the weight is still on the left side, it shows that the other side still isn't bearing weight. Your breathing still only happens when one leg is supporting you. In this case, you can't do it. The question is, when can I hold on both sides symmetrically and do the exercise the same way? He was asking about this. He asked me when he could do it this way. What I said was, when the position of your pelvis, the height of your shoulders, the position of both diaphragms and your breathing are all stable. When you can support yourself on your right leg and also on your left leg. When your right leg can push to the left and your left can push to the right. Only then can you train normally however you like. In fact, what I want to tell you is that 99% of members are not really suitable. It's not suitable to start off by gripping both sides of the symmetrical chain completely, nor is it suitable to train like this. Because the vast majority of members are asymmetrical and their diaphragms are in a lower position. So if you train like this, it's basically making your muscles stronger while stabilizing your misaligned joints in their misaligned positions. When it comes time to make adjustments, it will become even more troublesome and the rehabilitation period will be even longer. So, although it looks symmetrical when you do barbell squats, lat pull-downs, or seated rows, since both sides appear to be exerting force at the same time, in reality, what you're doing is actually asymmetrical training. Because the clients you're working with are asymmetrical. Even though it looks like I'm gripping symmetrically, it's actually not symmetrical. In fact, what I'm really doing is training to achieve symmetry, so this is actually a philosophical question. What appears to be my asymmetrical training is actually symmetrical training, while your so-called symmetrical training is actually asymmetrical. That's because you place each of your clients in a certain position, assuming their joint alignment is normal, assuming their diaphragm is in the chest, assuming their muscle origin and insertion points are all correct, and the muscle functions all follow what's described in the anatomy textbooks. The problem is, in real life, you won't encounter such hypothetical clients. You won't meet someone who comes to you with a perfectly positioned diaphragm, a perfectly aligned pelvis, a perfectly aligned sacrum, perfectly aligned shoulders, and all joints functioning normally. You just won't meet such clients. If someone like that exists, they wouldn't even be able to enter the gym yet because they're only 3 years old. So when you're coaching clients, even if it looks like both sides are doing the bench press exactly the same, or when you're doing single leg support or Pilates, you might notice, oh, your right shoulder's a bit higher, or sit your right sit bone down a bit more, or move your upper body down a bit more. This isn't called symmetrical training. In fact, this is asymmetrical training. Doing this will actually mess up your client's breathing. That's why I say, once you understand the underlying logic, you can use any equipment, dumbbells, barbells, whatever, and train them effectively. Moreover, during training, it's not just about focusing on a single point. Basically, all the movements I have my clients do are adjusted for their entire body. Whether it's pulling for the back, pushing for the chest, or even shoulder presses, I can do all of them. I can help improve any of these movements. These are things you need to gradually understand moving forward. That way, while making the external appearance look good, you're also continuously improving internal function. After training, I don't let their diaphragm drop lower. For many clients who have issues like urinary incontinence or hemorrhoids, I don't have them specifically train their pelvic floor muscles or focus solely on breathing exercises. Instead, I just take them straight to weight training. After lifting weights, their incontinence and hemorrhoids actually improve. Because during weight training, I address all these issues, like diastasis recti, urinary incontinence, and hemorrhoids, and I do it with high intensity. After training this way, the results are 10,000 times more effective than doing Kegel exercises. With Kegel exercises, you can only exhale. You can't add weight plates to your pelvic floor. But with my method, you can. I can keep increasing the load based on the intensity of your muscle breakdown and the growth of your strength. I can keep adding more. Look, we've even added up to 550 kilograms that I pull up from the rack. I'm challenging my grip to see if I'll lose my hold at 550 kilograms. But if you watch me during personal training sessions, you might not really understand because every member's workout is different. Their foot placement is also different. There's no fixed form. I decide which grip position they should use and where their legs should be, whether the knee is in front or behind, based on each client's specific situation. But there are some patterns. The vast majority of people have a lower right shoulder, most of the weight is on the right side, and the right side rotates backward. That's the general pattern. However, some people are different. Some have the opposite pattern on top, some on the bottom, and some are reversed both on top and bottom. So you need to make adjustments for your client based on their actual situation.